A top 25 matchup in Tucson on Saturday. A lot of eyeballs will be on UCLA and Arizona. Welcome inside our San Francisco studios. It's Inside Pac-12 Football, the digital edition. Mike Am, Curtis Conway, and Matt Leinart with you. I look at these two teams, and offensively, especially in the running game, you're talking about juggernauts and Paul Perkins and Nick Wilson. Specifically, though, what's the challenge for UCLA against this Arizona defense?
Well, first of all, let me start with something positive for them. I think they can go in there with the running game with Paul Perkins and do an excellent job. I mean, Paul Perkins is on fire. Probably the most underrated back in the country. When he has the ball in his hand, he makes things happen. But here's the problem. Josh Rosen, this is going to be his, I would say, his first big test on the road, Matt, against a 3-3-5 defense. This is not something that quarterbacks see all the time in college, let alone coming out of high school and you're early in the season. So for me, I think it's going to be interesting to see how well does Josh Rosen play against this crazy 3-3-5 defense.
All right, what was it like your first experience against the 3-3-5?
It was rough. we played against BYU in college, and they ran the 3-3-5. It was my first year. I think it was my second or third start. We were actually at home, threw 3 interceptions, couple touchdowns. We still won, but I was so confused because a 3-3-5 defense allows defenders to move around. You can disguise, you can blitz from all different areas, from different angles. It's hard to identify which ones are linebackers, which ones are nickelbacks, and that's the chaos it presents. Now, you can run the ball against this defense, but for Josh Rosen, it's going to be a handful for him because he struggled last week against a pretty traditional BYU defense, and that's where I think Arizona has an advantage, and they're at home. And then just offensively, guys, Arizona, Anu Solomon's off to a great start. No one's talking about him. Nick Wilson's off to a great start. No one's talking about him. The receiving core is great. To me, this has upset written all over it. I don't want to say it, but it's got.
But they're quietly, creeping themselves back in the picture.
Well, if you, just in case you forgot, they did win the Pac-12 South season ago,
exactly.
And on media day,
they return the quarterback, the running back, and no one to give them.
And this is the first time that Rich Rod has had his quarterback for the second consecutive year since he's been in Arizona.
And it's paid dividends through these last few weeks. 10 touchdowns, no interceptions for Anu Solomon, the only other quarterback in the country that can boast that total. Cody Kessler, it's some pretty good company. For everything that's happening around the conference, all you have to do, follow us on Twitter at Pac-12 Networks. And for a full recap of UCLA and Arizona, tune in end of the night, Pac-12 Network, for Pac-12 Final Score.